What's up, everybody? This video is going to be about debit cards and why you should never use them for purchases. Now, to be honest, I don't even carry mine with me. There's no point unless I'm going to go get cash. I have never used my ATM debit card for a purchase. In the 25 years I've had a bank account, and I've never used it to actually go in and buy anything. Never once. I use cash, check, money order, credit cards. I've never used my ATM or debit card. I never saw the point. I always thought it was dangerous because it's direct access to my money. So I just never did. And I can already hear you. But Rick, it's good for cash management, and then I don't have to pay interest like on a credit card. I hear that all the time. What that means to me is you're not smart enough to manage your own cash, which also means you don't have the discipline to use credit, which then means you are going to fail at trading and pretty much any other business venture if you don't know how to handle your cash and your credit. You're going to end up being one of the 95% of people who goes through life in debt, working for someone else, wishing that you can get out of the hole that you're in, accept your fate, and move on, unless you're willing to change your habits. The funny thing is about those same people, they still use credit cards regularly. I mean, from my experience, I see it all the time. They burn the cash that's in their checking account, and then they move over to the credit card to make other purchases, right? And I'm gonna shoot a video about the kind of money people waste every single day. It makes me sick. But anyway, and I lost my train of thought now. See what you guys did to me? Oh, that's right. They burn the cash that they use, that they have in their bank account, and then they don't pay the credit card off at the end of each month in full, which means you're going to carry interest. And that's what credit cards love that. They're loan sharks, legal loan sharks. They charge 30% interest, and it's okay. And then next month, the cycle starts over, right? They get paid, they go buy whatever the hell they always wanted to buy, then they move on. Oh, I ran out of money, or I'm low, let me use my credit card, and then I'll make a bunch of payments on that, and blah, blah, blah. And so the cycle just goes, man. Wow. Just, wow. Hamsters on a frickin' wheel. I mean, geez. Now, I'm going to break down the main reasons why you should not use debit cards for purchases. I'm going to praise credit cards in another video. But for now, just know that if you're not using your credit card every day for every purchase that you can, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're leaving money, potential money I should say, and you're leaving credit on the table. But we'll talk about that next time. The number one reason to never use debit cards for purchases is... What do you think I'm going to say? I'll give you a second. If you said anything other than cash management, you're dead wrong! I just freaking said it a second ago, for Pete's sake. Cash is king, and protecting your cash is the number one priority. Having cash in the bank is the only way to move forward. Even if you can't pay everything off each month in full, right? Let's just say you screwed up, you can't pay everything off. You can pay off things in the order of importance, right? Housing, food, electricity, internet, phone, like that, right? You can pay off as much as you can off each one in the order of importance, while you get your head out of your butt and get yourself straightened out. Now, I'm going to berate you later about that on a future video, but that'll be then. Now, beyond cash management, there are a few things on the list of why debit cards are a no-no for purchases. Now, this one is going to be kind of controversial. Some people aren't going to believe it. They think it's like more of a conspiracy theory, but you know what? I can only say what I've seen and what I've seen other people have. What other people have told me has happened to them, and I mean, they showed me with receipts and stuff. So I'm personal friends, like people I know, but anyways. If you search around long enough on the internet and in forums and stuff, you're going to find folks discussing a certain phenomenon that happens in their bank account. And it might even have happened to you once I tell you what it is. You guys might say, hey, you know what, that happened to me. Now, it seems that some banks, not all, some banks, they post some charges in a day or so, but arbitrarily they hold other charges over for a bit longer. And then they're stacked together, and it just seems that it usually wait until your bank account gets low enough, and then wham, they just post them all at once. And you're like, oh, damn, man, I ran out of cash in there. But thankfully, good old Mr. Bank, they have overdraft protection, right? $15 to $35 charge for each line item over the amount that you have, right? So that Starbucks that you paid $5 for all of a sudden costs you $40 because it put you over in the overdraft protection, right? And the funny thing is it usually happens like right before, a day or so before they know you're going to get direct deposit, because direct deposits happen pretty much on the same schedule. Nice, huh? So your money comes in and it replenishes your account. It pays all the fees that they want you to pay because they charged you the $35 or $15, whatever your bank charges, and it all gets taken out because boom, you just got paid. Don't use your debit card for purchases. Now, hackers and thieves, those people, they love debit cards. Not only can they use the card for purchases, but they can get your PIN and get direct cash from ATMs. They have blanks that they can get. You can get them from anywhere. They have blanks. They get your stuff and they go walk into any ATM outside usually. Nobody is ballsy enough to go into the bank. Boom, put in your thing. If you're not secured, wham, it comes out. They get their cash. They toss the card or sometimes leave the damn thing sitting in the machine because they just got $300-400 and they know you're going to see it, so they don't need the card anymore. Can't trace cash. That's it. Done. Ridiculous. Now, if that does happen to you, I mean, it depends on your bank, right? But on average, you have about 2 to 3 business days to inform the bank that it happened. So if you're not checking all the time, you may not even realize that it happened. If you don't have like a bank alert or anything like that on your phone, you may not even know that somebody just jacked a bunch of money from you. Now, if you don't do that, the bank can, it depends on what you agreed to when you signed, but they can just say sorry, and that'll be it. You lost your money. Yeah, of course, they'll shut your bank account down, they'll give you a new one, and that sort of thing, but your money will be gone, and you're not going to get it back. So do me a favor and do yourself a favor. If you insist on using your card, check it at least twice a day. Know what you spend and where. The other thing is, while you're waiting for a decision, it could take 10 to 20 days, and you'll still be out that money. Because sometimes what they'll do is they'll give you a credit, but that credit will be on a hold. And then you'll be able to use it with bank draft, the same bank draft rules. So it kind of looks like there's money there, but there isn't. And it just sits there while they, quote-unquote, investigate. But we don't really know what they're doing, right, behind the lines. We have no clue on what they're doing. They could just arbitrarily be like, yeah, okay, let's give it to them or let's not. But anyways, you'll still be out that money. And what's worse, and this has happened to people I know, their bank decision can go against you. Meaning, you have to prove that it wasn't you, and if they're not satisfied, they're not going to give you any of that money back. And that's it, you're done. Now, I'll tell you how I protect myself when I use my ATM. Again, I don't use it for anything but cash, right? To get cash out. Now, or to make deposits, but I usually just mobile deposits if it's a check. But what I do is I have the app for my bank on my phone. I lock my ATM card, right? I lock it, meaning no one can use it, not even me. If I need to go get cash or make a deposit, I drive to the bank, and I don't really like going inside, so I'll just usually use the ATM. But while I'm sitting in the car, I will unlock my card. I'll take my limit from $1, which it always sits, to the amount I'm going to withdraw. Get my money out. Count it at the ATM in front of the camera. Put it in my pocket. Walk back to the car. Change my limit back to 1. Lock the card again. But Rick, that's so much to do every time. Well, why don't you take out enough cash that you think is going to last you instead of $20 at a time, dummy? Take out a few $100s and keep some cash on you, and then you won't have to worry about it all the time. See, the problem is with a lot of people is they have no issue trading convenience for security. The security is not convenient. Being secure is not convenient at all. I like security. I don't care about convenience. I would rather be secure, but that's me. That may not be you. But see, I go through this all the time. But also, it's only like once a month when I need to go get cash. Sometimes not even that. Because I mostly use my credit card for purchases, and then I pay it all off at the end of the month and get my cash back and all the good perks that you get from using a credit card. So just be more mindful when you if you insist on using it, you know. And I don't even know why, because using OPM or other people's money, like credit cards, that's always a safer bet for you in the long run. Because you get less protection when you use a debit card. If you buy something and you get it damaged, or the service sucked, or it was defective or whatever, the rights you have with a credit card versus what you have with a debit card is pretty big. The difference is large in between the two. I'm not going to get into all that now because maybe I'll talk about it more in credit cards when I do the credit cards video. But just know that your protection is not as good. Believe me. You can just go look it up yourself. I'm not going to delve too deep into that because each card is different than the next. But there's like a general guide is that credit card purchases are more secure than your own personal one. Plus, if you never can pay it, you only lose credit. And who cares about credit? You can get credit back. You can't get your cash back if it's gone. Once it's gone, it's gone. You'll have to re-earn it. But we'll talk about that at another time. But, again, if you absolutely insist on using debit cards, you silly fool, at least don't use them in the following places. Please do not use a debit card at the pay-at-the-pump gas station. That's one of the worst things you can do. Those are the most common places where they place what are called skimmers. Hackers and thieves will put a device in there. The machine will still work. You'll still get gas, but what happens is you slide it in there and they capture all your information. And then you go and you put your PIN in, you twit, and now they have all of it. And then they come back a couple of days later, pull it out. Now they got all this information, right? But that's bad, if that's not bad enough. Most of the time, when you go to purchase gas, there's a hold on when you swipe your card. Where I live in my area, it's generally a $100 hold. Now, whether or not you use the whole 100 is beyond the point. The hold is there. On a credit card, who cares? It's temporary, and you have a lot of credit, a couple of $1,000 in credit, $5,000, $10,000, unless you're one of those fools who has a $300 limit credit card, in which case you seriously need my help later. But anyway, you use your debit card, they hold that $100. Now that $100 you cannot use that $100 if you use your debit card. It is held, meaning you're not allowed to use it. So if you have $150 in your checking account and you want to put $20 in and you use your debit card, for at least the next 3 to 5 days, you're going to have only $50 in there. They're going to hold that 100. And then let's say you go buy something thinking you still have 100 in there. Boom, there's your friend overdraft. Don't use your debit card for purchases. The next one you shouldn't do is shopping online. The easiest way to get your credit card stolen, your debit card stolen, is by using it online. Don't believe the hype. Your credit card numbers and debit card numbers are secure, sure, but it's still not wise to use them over the internet. Swiping inside of a store, if you're going to do it, is probably the safest way, but it's for the same reason. If somebody's monitoring you, if, just in case, right? You're dealing with your cash here. So just don't use it when you shop online, okay? Big ticket items, like basically I would say anything over like $100 or so, just use a credit card. It's just stupid to use your if you have that much cash in your bank account, then just, put it on the side and use a credit card. It's safer for you. You usually get an extended warranty and stuff when you do that. Not every debit card will do that for you, but most credit cards do, at least any good ones. Also, if you need to have a deposit, or i.e. like a hold, we need a credit card for whatever, like if you go to a hotel and they need a credit card, don't give them your debit card. Car rentals, all that's just stupid. Again, they put a hold on there. You see? They put a hold on it. That hold means that the money that is in there is not available for you to use. Get it? They're holding your money, so don't use it. Restaurants too, use your credit card. Okay? If anybody's ever seen The Sopranos, there's a few episodes where they're running the card scam at the restaurant. If any fan will know what I'm talking about. That happens every day. You hand them your card and they walk off. They don't swipe it right there in front of you like if you go to McDonald's. No, they take it to some mystery room in the back. You don't see it. You don't know what they're doing. They can have one of those skimmers. They can have it right in their pocket. Literally, it could be in their little apron, and they walk by and whoop, swipe it, and then they go swipe your credit card, and then they come back and thank you, and you give them a tip. You even tip them for stealing from you. Again, if it's your credit card, you're safer because they're not actually taking your money, they're taking the bank's money, and you can fight it. But again, if you don't notice in a day or two, sometimes 3, and you use your debit card, they're going to take your money and they're not going to give it back to you. This is real. Call your bank and ask them. I'm not making this up. If you have to do recurring payments, please don't use your debit card. Use your freaking credit card. That's what it's there for. Debit cards, the reason banks... real quick. Never ever put your ATM card in a non-bank ATM, like at a club or a bar or anything like that. No. If you do that, you're just the biggest dumbass I ever met in my life. That is the dumbest thing you can do. You don't even know who owns it. You don't know if it's real. They could just swoop your card instantly. You have no idea. And these guys, they're not stupid. They don't use it right away. They monitor your card. They'll watch what you do. They'll watch, it has this much on it, that much on it. This is when they do this and that. They're smarter than you, believe me, they are. They're smarter than you, they're smarter than me. Because if I knew how to do it, I probably would. I'm just being honest. Every once in a while, when I was younger, if I knew how to do it before I knew how to make money on my own, I'd have done it. Why not? It's free money. Some idiot gives me his credit card, and the odds are I'm never going to get caught because you're never going to catch them. You can't even prove where it went or where the money came from. But just don't use your ATM cards, please. Just use them for cash, to go get cash, and that's it. Don't even carry it with you. The recurring payments thing, I wanted to make a note on that, but I guess I forgot what I was going to say. I should probably write a script. But anyway... Yeah, so restaurants, recurring payments, hotels, non-bank ATMs, shopping online, big ticket items, what else did I say? Pay at the pump, all these places, just don't use it. Basically, I'm trying to get you to not to use it at all, is what I'm really trying to say here. Don't use your debit card. It's not worth it. It's not worth the risk. Okay, keep your cash in there, and you'll be all right. So, with that being said, don't take offense because of what I'm saying. I don't know you personally, so when I say dumbass, I'm saying that's a dumb thing to do. You, YouTube listener, are not a dumbass. What you're doing is dumb. If you continue to do it, then you become a dumbass. Especially if you know that it's not good for your financial well-being to use a debit card for purchases. Okay? Banks love it. Because there's no risk for them. They take your money and they take their fees. There's no risk for them. Nothing. They still get their little piece of the pie. and there's no risk on them. The banks, they don't have to pay anything. The credit card companies aren't at risk because you're not using. They get a piece like Visa. They get their little percentage for when you swipe your card, but the issuer of the card, which is your bank, they take no risk. They just get a piece of your transaction. You take all the risk if somebody steals your number. That's my final thought on that. Now, my next topical video is going to be the other side of this topic, which is credit cards. How to use them wisely. And yeah, we'll see you then. Thanks for listening. And don't be a moron.